Welcome to this video where I will demonstrate my IRS Globals graph database application. This application uses InterSystems Globals to store graph data and represent data with the help of Python Flask web framework and Python PYVIS network library. So what is graph database? Graph database uses the graph structure with the help of nodes and edges and their properties to represent the data. So these are the nodes, and nodes has their own properties like ID, then the shape, color, label, etc. And these are the edges. These edges might be directional or unidirectional. It might contain the labels and the weight as well. Then I am using this library. This is a Python library, and here they have very detailed documentations and tutorial as well. So I am using multiple data structures to store graph data in globals. This is the first one where I am saving the nodes and edges, and then this is the second one. I am using network Game of Thrones dataset. So this dataset contains 353 weighted edges by connecting 107 characters, and then I am dynamically generating the graph database into the globals. This is application layout. This is the first data structure where these are the edges, these are the nodes, and these are the edges. And this is the second one, and this is the data structure where I am saving the source, target, and the weight. And this is the third one where I am generating the graph dynamically by just putting the number of nodes, and then it automatically generate the nodes, the names by using the names library, Python library, and then it create the edges as well. And this is the data structure for the edges for the third one. So it's recommended to read the documentation by using globals and this introduction to the native SDK and this Python library. To use the application, we need to clone it. So this is the repository address, and then we have to use Docker commands to make the Docker up and running. So as my application is already running, so let's move to the application. So this is the home page. So this is the first graph data structure. So it contains the nodes and edges. If I just zoom in, zoom out either by the mouse wheel or by this navigation buttons. So this is the first data structure, and then this is the second one, Game of Thrones. So this network diagram shows a relationship between the character and the frequencies, and by hovering it shows the tooltip of immediate neighbors. Some more the relationship is showing more prominent here, so we know that this has more neighbors. So this is one. This is the fewer one. Only Richard has only 2 neighbors, as it can be displayed here. So these are the conditions of the data. This data is imported at the first time when I am running the application. Let's move to the globals. So these are the globals. So here these are the 2 data structures which are imported at the first time when application is running. So this is the first data structure. We have edges and nodes. So these are the nodes and these are the edges for the first one. And this is the second data structure where we have the source and target and the weight. So let's do one thing here. Let's modify the data for the first graph. So let's move to the globals. These are the nodes. I go to the view. So here let's modify this one, the second one. To modify, we have to edit. So this second one, let's modify it to InterSystems Globals. So let's save, and okay, let me refresh. So this is the one which we modified, because circle sizes depend on the name. So this is the InterSystems Globals which we just modified. Okay, so let's move to the third one. So this is a dynamically graph. So first of all, nothing is generated. So as here we have only two data structures, graph 1 and graph 2. Let's come here to generate. Let's take it, for example, 15 nodes. Generate. So it's created this graph data and then retrieved. Let's move to the globals, retrieve. So this is the third one which we created dynamically. If we go to the nodes, so these are the nodes we created, and these are the edges for this. Let's come here and let's increase the number of nodes by, let's make it 50. Okay, so these are the 50 nodes and with all their edges. So every node linked to other node. If you move to the global, just refresh, see these are all the edges for every node. And here let's make it 100. This is the maximum one. We can create more, but it will not fit here. So these are the 100 nodes and their edges. Let's move to the here and refresh. So these are all the edges for the nodes. So this is the application, and let's so this is the first structure, this is the second one, and here also if we go to the first one, we can modify these details here, can play with their border, and we can change this color of the nodes and hovering, make it just pink. So see, his color is changed to pink. This is the selected one, and the border as well we can modify, just make any color. So this is the border, it's changed to this color, and there are also some other settings as well. This is the physics, we can just use this one, so it will show the details. So let's move to the code. So this is the application, this is the main source, and this is the main Python library. So this is a Flask framework. The requirements, we are using Flask. This pandas also we use some of the functionality. This is the main library, this network library, and this names is used to generate the names randomly. So let's move to the application. So this is the main application, this is the index page. So first time it's making the connection with the globals, and then it's importing the graph 1 edges and nodes, and then graph 2 edges and nodes, and then it's retrieving here and then passing these values to the index page, and then it will generate the graph accordingly based on the nodes and edges. and this is for dynamic graph. First time it's not showing anything. The second time it's taking the value. These are the nodes, number of nodes, and it passing to this Python file to generate the nodes and edges dynamically, and then after that is retrieving these nodes and edges, and then is passing to the same dynamic HTML, and here it will display the library. So this is the main index file. This is just HTML, and this is the main file here, this Python PYVIS with config. So here it's using this mainly this style sheet and this JavaScript. This is VIS library, and based on this these are some parameter, and these are the nodes and edges we passed here, and based on this it's creating this network, making the graph. So this is our SDK, the main connection. So I am using here IRS native, and here we are making the connection, establishing the connection by using this properties, and by using this create connection function of IRS native, passing these parameters, and then making the object, creating the object IRS. So based on this IRS native object, we are just communicating with the globals. So here is checking if it's not defined, then it's creating this CSV file. So this file is created by using random names. So this is just random names here. This is in the MISC folder. So this is the nodes, just our names handing, and these are the edges. And if you go back to this file, so this is our first the nodes and the edges for the first graph, and this is our second one, just creating this Stormovers CSV file, and just saving this source and target and weight in this global. And then this is the third one, is creating the dynamically by using this name library. This is a name library, and is creating the names based on the number we pass randomly. So and then is creating the edges against that number. So and here we are getting, this is we are saving to the globals, and this we are retrieving from the globals, same connection, and then we are using IRS get function to get the value by using the subscript, and then just filling the element. This is the for the network library. We are passing the elements, the ID and label and shape is circle. We are just passing back the array of these objects, and for the edges also we are getting the edges from and to, and again we are sending back to this library. This is for the first graph. This is for the second, is just taking the data from the globals, and then returning back the array. And this is the third one, this again we are retrieving based on this global. So this is all the SDK functions. So that's it. This is the introduction of my application. Thank you for watching.